Hello there, thanks for joining me again. Today I'm working on a speed build for Miss Amelia Widebottom, who is a character that I shared in CAS a while back. I created her for my Powerpuff Girl toddlers, and so I'm just finally putting up the video for the house that I made her. It's totally suiting her, it's totally completely pink, which I've decided is her favorite color. And so the interior is completely pink, and I wanted the outside to feel very suburban. And actually, the house turns out taller than I intended, but I mean, it looks fine. um, so yeah, I made the interior with like traditional wallpapers, and um, I used a lot of pink. But the furniture is not that traditional. I had to change the furniture because of color purposes. I I wanted a lot of white and actually I wanted white and purple for the inside. The walls and everything are pink, but I wanted white and purple, and most of the purple furniture is brown and purple. Like it has a wood color. So that ends up I ends up using more modern furniture than anything else. And so here I'm just trying to make the house look as small as possible, which for some reason is really hard. Like, you want to make things look comfortable, but I don't know. Like, it ends up bigger than I intended to be. Um, so right now I'm just working with the roof, which because I always have a problem with it, with the roofing, because I want to make like the exterior look interesting and I don't want the walls completely flat. So I like tend to cause little sections to like pop out. That's probably my issue. I should probably make those sections bigger and maybe I wouldn't have such a problem. But right now I'm just figuring it out. The house does have two bathrooms, one for like guests and then upstairs like her personal bathroom, which is actually a pretty big bathroom. So downstairs is just the toilet. I don't actually have like shower or anything. But upstairs has everything. It has a separate tub, and then on the other side of the room is like the shower. But yeah, it's really huge. I was looking at it while I was reviewing the video for editing, and it's really big. Like I don't think it needed to be that big. But she's a single woman, Emily, Amelia, Miss Bottom. She's a wealthy scientist, so she can afford whatever kind of bathroom she decides she needs. So she has a really pretty decent sized bathroom. And so here I'm just trying to find the pink um, wallpaper for the exterior. I really love that paneling. Like I love the paneling for all like little suburban houses. I think it's just I guess that's just something I'm used to seeing. So for me it suits it. And just trying to figure out that little or I was trying to figure out the little I'm gonna put like a what you call them a fireplace there. So I was just making that little area stick out just for the sake of design. So I knew I was gonna put a fireplace in that corner, and so I made that little part stick out. Like the fireplace is not gonna be inside of that little area, but that's gonna like be the back of it, behind it. And I've been really happy with these smaller windows that they gave us in The Sims 4. I can't remember too much if we had small windows like that previously, but that's because I used to use only big windows because in when I first started playing The Sims, I would always try to build the biggest house. I never was very happy with what I was doing. I would tend to make the rooms super big, but for the Sims 4, I think I got it down. I can use a variety of windows. And in observing real houses more often, I noticed that sometimes they have a lot of mismatching windows, but I try to keep them matched as close as possible, except for their size variation. And that fence, I love the white picket fence. It's so cute. It's so perfect. And I thought she would really like to have that. And sunflowers, I'm always putting sunflowers everywhere especially if it's like in a warm, or if I think it's like the neighborhood or the area that the person lives in is like really warm constantly. And since, we don't yet have a seasons one, so I put them here. Um, I wish we had more sunflowers. Like, you could change the sizes, of course, and then make it look fuller. But I wish we had more sunflower options, like size options. But if you mess with it more, it could look really good. I love to put sunflowers everywhere. I do. And so here we go in the inside. I'm just taking away some walls. I left those two little walls in the corner, uh, just for the exterior look. Like, it doesn't affect the inside at all. They're pillars, but you can't even tell on the inside that it is anything at all. And that's just to separate the fireplace. I like the fireplace to have its own little section. I know I've seen it like be against a flat wall and it works, but I don't know. I like to um, fit it into some kind of like space. And I go a lot back and forth, inside, outside, upside down, upstairs, downstairs, um, just because of remembering things that I want to put or add, or I'll see them while I'm scrolling through the catalog and then I'll add them in. So for right here, I use this short wall or this tall wall, which is one of like the half walls. I don't. I think I just really didn't want to use a full wall. I wanted it to feel open, and so that's why I used that wall. Like, I didn't put a full wall there at all. And as you can see, this is upstairs. Like, she's gonna lose a block of her bedroom because right where I'm putting the half walls, I'm gonna totally block that off with like lights behind it, and it's those city living lights. They're like candles, and I put them all behind there, and so she loses a good portion of her bedroom just for the style. And I'm just trying to find here, as you can see, trying to look for some wallpapers. I love those wallpapers for the toddler. They didn't suit what I was trying to go for her room, but I was like so desperate to use them that I put them up immediately because I knew I wanted to use them at some point. But I realized, this is not the time, so I eventually get rid of them. And I really wanted to use purple. I grabbed one of these more modern wallpapers, as you can see, that one. This is when I realized that I definitely wanted purple in the house. I did not just want it to be pink, but we only have like those more modern wallpapers for the purple. We don't have anything like with the wooden panelings like the pink one out in the front. So I had to settle and use the white one. It's very, there's not a lot of color variation here. It's white, pink, purple, and that's it. Like, I throw some blues around, but that's like with the little statues that we get. I use the chicken one later, and then I put a gnome in the room. I put a gnome downstairs because I always put gnomes in my build. I'm gonna make a huge garden one day, and I'm just gonna put them all around the garden area. For now, I'm always putting them in the house, or I'll put them somewhere in the garden, like sticking out randomly, because we've always had gnomes in The Sims, and but I know we've always had the flamingos for sure. I think we've always had gnomes, so I just want to use them. I think they're really cute, so I always want to throw them around. I don't use the flamingos that much, but they're more, what you call it? They've been in the game a lot longer, so they're more nostalgic. And but I don't really use them that much. I don't know why. I think I prefer the gnomes. So I'm always putting gnomes everywhere. She'll get a gnome in the front of her house. So I'm just trying to make her house look, really cute and sweet. Um, I feel like she would maybe not have too many guests over a lot, but she definitely likes to have company. So you'll see when we work downstairs that her dining table will have, it'll be a full four chairs, and not just like a small dining table with two seats. So it would be full. Um, so just messing around the windows, making sure everything fits kind of evenly because I know what I want to use in the space. So I'm just trying to make sure everything fits in an even way, as far as along the walls and everything. And so there I go again. Um, we have those hot pink cabinets, but that is not the color I wanted. So I remember we had these purple ones, but then I remembered again, oh, those are the modern ones. But I went ahead and used them anyway. I made everything else around her look more traditional just to give it a certain feeling, like a cozy feeling. And for the furniture, yeah, it's definitely not traditional looking at all. And that has a lot to do with the fact that I wanted to use these deep purples and put them around the house. You saw that like hot pink there again. And even though I wanted to go pink, that was not the pink I wanted to use. So I did go for the purple. The kitchen is fairly small. I imagine Amelia does like to cook. Maybe she like messes with chemicals at work and stuff. I don't know. So she's like really good with formula and recipes. So I imagine she makes really, really good cookies, like some peanut butter cookies. Yummy, yummy. And so that's what I was thinking about when I make her kitchen. I have to think a lot about what kind of person this is when I give them a kitchen. Like, is it a person who's gonna spend a lot of time in the kitchen? For one of my characters, I gave her a pretty big kitchen, but I don't imagine she would really spend too much time in there. I think she would just, that particular person would just kind of whip up something quick and easy. But I don't think she would really be in the kitchen. I think more because that particular character is into aesthetically pleasing things. Like she wants things to look nice, so that's why she has like this really nice looking kitchen. But otherwise, she doesn't really use it. But for Amelia, I think she would be in the kitchen, um, you know, when she's home, whenever she's home and alone, between cooking and reading. That's just the kind of person I imagine her to be on her free time. So there I go with those traditional table and chair, which will be switched out just because while I was going to make the home traditional looking, um, I just felt at the end the color scheme that I wanted to use, they didn't have anything in those colors. So I ended up opting for the wallpapers to look a certain way, but the furniture was completely opposite. She doesn't have a TV. I think she just has the radio for when she has guests over, but I imagine her music will be very soft, not anything loud or crazy. And I actually would like to make this whole section like match in the same aesthetic on the exterior that I did hers. As I mentioned before, this house was not supposed to be as big as it was because I used this lot. This lot is like the smallest one in this particular, what I want to call town, because it's got the little like there's 5 lots in every little section of the game. So I like to refer, or I think of them as towns, little towns within, you know, the area. So in this little town, I that's the smallest lot, and I intended for the house to be a little bit more narrow, and not so wide. And it certainly was not supposed to be 2 floors, but it ended up that way. But you know what? In the end, it's okay because she's a workaholic. She spends a lot of time looking in through a scope at her job. She doesn't spend too much time at home. She doesn't need a huge garden. She doesn't need a pool or anything like that. Those are luxuries she'll take whenever she goes, vacationing with people. So now, I've decided I'm going to use modern furniture, and here I am just changing it out, looking for chairs to match that purple that I used in the kitchen. But then again, I had to find matching purple, I mean, a matching table because that was like, it had a metal base, and then the white table wasn't. It was wood, so it was just white. So then I gave her some matching chairs just because. Just because. So there you see I give a pop of blue, and then I'm looking for the gnome. I looked for the gnome on purpose. Like I was going to put that female statue that we have of her. She's got like a high bun and she's very elegant. But I decided no, I'm gonna put the gnome here because even though she's a serious, Widebottom is a serious scientist, and you know, but she has a sense of humor. She has a sense of humor, and she's super sweet and quirky and a little weird and unusual. So I put the gnome there on purpose, just the way of expressing to express the kind of a person that she is. Um, and by the doorway, you can see, whoops, that I use a tile instead of a rug. I like to use tiles or different floors just to separate um, certain sections of the house. Just because sometimes the rug, I just can't find one. So, but like the tile or the floor, whatever floor we decide to use, the floor type, it tends to work for me. So then I'll use that instead. And that's what I did by the door. And I'm really bad here with plates. I'm really bad with placing furniture. And I couldn't find, I didn't feel comfortable with the way I was putting it initially. Looking back, it didn't look so bad when I placed it to the sides there. But then I thought about blocking off the space and getting the Sims stuck in case, she have a third party while I was playing. So I just put the chairs off to the side and there added a library. Finally, I remembered about this bathroom because I actually totally forgot about it. Um, I think I keep it pretty basic, just white and purple. I put purple throughout where I could, wherever a wallpaper or furniture presented a purple color, then I use some purples. Um, yep. And I put that little piece there in the bathroom. I'm always trying to use every single piece for the bathroom, but then it looks too cluttered, and I'm like I don't have this stuff in my bathroom because mostly because it doesn't fit in my bathroom. But that one I decided, maybe she needs some items, so she'll keep them down here. You know, she's gonna have guests over. Maybe she ran out of toilet paper. She might want to keep it in there. She needs some clean and fresh cloths to dry your hands, so she'll keep them in there. Just little things, cleaning supplies, whatever. I imagine she would put them in there just for that downstairs bathroom. I don't put that kind of stuff upstairs at all. Um, but it was definitely just to fill up the space via storytelling. And then up here, I didn't want the room to be completely pink, and I don't think I wanted to repeat the purple upstairs. I I spotted those yellow curtains, and I have a thing with the yellow color in this game. I love it. I've never gotten to use it so far. I've actually every time I try to use it, I have to go the other way, like completely make it 360 or turn completely around and never get to use it. Um, but I like that that yellow has that blue on it, that little teal color, the lining, and so I tried my best to like find a matching one, um, and it was really hard. I like the beds in the game. I like a lot of the coverings that they use and colors. So there's like a couple of beds that like have the same thing. They're like slightly different in the frame, but um, the Duna cover and the pillows have the same colors. And it's between this bed and then the one that has like that little arch over on the headboard. I think they're basically the same kind of bed, but the frame is different, but like the color, the sheets are the same. Um, so yeah, I got frustrated with looking for beds, so I decided to try to figure out this little corner over here, and then I went back to it. I just figured, okay, I settled for that dresser because I didn't want to use a closet again. I always put closets. I'm always using them. But I decided there that I'm not gonna use it this time. And I didn't want her to have just a dresser because she's very, she's very neat and sharp as a person. So I thought she would constantly have everything hung up, but I wanted to do that in a way where I didn't have to use the closets from Get Together. So I just used that one. I think that's like the wardrobe thing from City Living, which is it's designed in a way to say, you don't have much and you have to squeeze it in this little space. But I think it's totally cute. So I just decided to use that. I settled for it. And here I am again struggling with the beds until I finally decided I'm just gonna go with the white. I wanted to get this done because I try for my videos not to be so long, just because you know I'm new to um, um, placing voiceovers, and I didn't want them to be so long because honestly, I didn't think I would be able to hold up. The last time I tried, I was like, the whole time. But having done a few shorter ones, yeah, once you start going, it's just, it kind of flows. And it's been really difficult because I was really, really nervous talking to myself in my room. And I was just like freaking out. But, whatever. Mm, it is what it is, I guess. So there I am again, trying to just find simple white things because I settled for the white. I couldn't find purple. There was all these mismatching items, which doesn't really bother me because I think that's a great chance to explore and be creative. Everything doesn't have to match all the time. Once a person is settled into their home, things get a little mismatchy. And I'm actually witnessing that right now in my life. My bed sheets they have a similar color to my quilt that I recently bought over the summer last year. But the bed sheets that I had bought, which were similar color, white and turquoise, that broke at some point. I don't know what happened. And so I replaced them. And it's not that I just have one, it's just that I'm lazy to change them. Like, I'll clean them, but I'm really, really, I don't like to have too many options because I find it gets messy for me to keep up with. So I would wash them and just reuse them. And that might sound horrible, but it wasn't so bad. They were clean. They were clean. And I can tell you they were clean because they were white. They just happen to rip, and I don't know why that happens. So I have these really nice gray ones, which they go with my curtains, which are gray. And I got these blackout curtains, and they're gray, but they're dark gray. And then the bed sheets, the new one, they have the turquoise, they're gray, and they orange. And so I also bought these matching orange pillowcases. So I have like 1,000 colors. Well, just three colors, but two different patterns. Because the gray bed sheets have their diamond pattern, and then the other one has a polka dot one, and then like this honeycomb pattern on the other side. So here you see the bathroom finally. Now that I'm looking back at the screen, working on the bathroom. It's a very spacious bathroom. I did not block anything off it in any way. I didn't squeeze anything in. Just because, as I said before, I don't want my sim to get stuck. I don't want to turn around thinking they're doing one thing and then they're just like struggling to get past something. So I always make everything very spacious. Um, and I'm always trying to like put furniture in every little section. Like right there, I felt like this wall's kind of empty. Like it wasn't necessary, but I put something there anyway. I'm sure I could have gotten away with just leaving the bookshelf there or just leaving a plant in the corner or like off centered there, but I was like, it's so empty. I'm gonna have big trouble when I move out into my own place. Everything's gonna be so cluttered everywhere. So here are the screenshots. I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you for joining me. I'll speak to you again real soon. Bye.